This is my second time recording this. All right, welcome back, guys, to mini-sode number 17. And this is your every Tuesday mini-sode series here with Miss D, your favorite host on Dose with Dose of Raw Talk podcast. And this is a dose for the soul, where you guys get a deeper look into my soul, and I get to share with you guys what I am present with. So, as you guys know by now, you must have already listened to last week's mini-sode number 16 regarding two phrases that were like dawning on me a little bit. And today I'm hitting y'all with one more phrase, and there's a reason why. So, the day I'm recording this, to date, I had a conversation with my best friend Tina. Shout out to Tina. She's been a guest on the show a few times. And her and I were talking about a situation that was unique to her and was affecting her. And I was able to relate with a situation that I'm in and I'm going through. And the topic of forgiveness came up. And it came out because I said it, but it came out nevertheless. And I just started thinking about the whole concept of forgiving and forgetting. And since I'm very transparent with you guys and I share with you guys my many different journeys as to how I'm becoming a better human being at the age of 35. And, I'm just going to keep it all the way raw with you guys every instance that I can and will do so, because you just never know who can relate and who can learn from it, or which one of you guys could send me something that'll help me out, right? So, forgiving and forgetting. This has definitely been something that has also dawned on me a little bit, a little heavier than most thoughts, a little heavier than most concepts, a little heavier than most experiences in life, especially after the year that we've all had. I mean, when people are at that last breath and they know that they maybe have unfinished business, or they know that there was maybe something that happened with someone, people tend to ask for forgiveness. People tend to seek for that person who they may have done wrong to, who they may have crossed, who they may have hurt. And they're like, I need you to forgive me. I want you to forgive me so that I can go in peace. And this has come up as a conversation, as just different things again in life that have happened. And I'm not going to make this shit morbid. It's not about making this shit morbid at all or sad. It's just a reality, and I'm going to admit to you guys, I have not always been the best at forgiving nor forgetting. Some of you guys, and kudos to you guys have this ability to find your ability of forgiving, hold hands with your ability of forgetting, and both just be skipping in like the garden, smelling flowers and shit. And I commend you guys and I admire you guys who can do that, because it is one of my top struggles in life. I am not good at forgiving always. I am practicing that a little bit better these days. Just a tad. Just a little bit. But forgetting? Absolutely fucking not. I don't forget. I just don't forget. I've been faced with one instance in this past year, and where I was able to forgive and forget in an instance, in a blink of an eye, right? And it was, if you guys by now tuned into episode 50, you guys know I recap some of my favorite episodes, and one of those being my reconciliation with my good, amazing, dope as fuck friend and brother, Roberto. And that was actually me in that instance of realizing that it was him reaching out to me. I no longer thought about what happened between us. I no longer gave a flying fuck that we were mad at each other. I was just happy to talk to my friend again. And I forgave and forgot for 2.5 seconds before he reminded me what the fuck he did. And the reason why he reminded me was to own up to it and to apologize for it. And thank you so much for that, Rob. But in that instance, because it was someone who I genuinely love so much, like he has been my brother for years, and to have lost that friendship over just something so stupid, over an assumption that he heard and made about me, you know. And yeah, I'm one of those bitches. Like, I'm one of those bitches that holds her innocence, like, for life. Like, if I know I didn't fucking do it, I didn't fucking do it. If I know I'm not guilty of shit, I'm not fucking guilty of shit. I say less, because less is more. So, the thing is this, though. I guess in that instance, because it was someone so dear to me, it was so easy. My ability was so strong at that moment to just forgive and forget. Forgive and forget was definitely skipping down a fucking garden in SoCal, since that's where he's located. Yeah, I'm shading you. Anyway, But kudos and shout out to anybody on the West Coast who listens to this here show. Fucks with all of y'all, because I know some of y'all be asking for me to drop the episodes early. Anyway, so but that's the only one instance I've been able to do that, guys. And the truth is that I'm not so good at forgiving, and I suck even more at forgetting. In a recent past episode, I was able to tell you guys how an ex-boyfriend reached out to me and was begging once again for forgiveness and for me to just forget what happened and for me to be his friend again, because there was a point we were trying to be friends, and unfortunately his actions were disturbing and very poor and just insulting and just hurtful, and that's where the friendship completely ended even after our relationship. And I say that to say, because I did respond to him telling him that I forgave him for what had happened. However, I had no desires whatsoever or intent for us to ever be friends again, or for him to and I to have ever anything to do with one another. That he did not need to be in my space, nor on my family, nor on my child. And he wasn't accepting that. He was very hurt by that. And it was in that moment I had to just realize that in that instance, I'm not forgetting what happened. And I realized then that the reason why I have such a hard time in forgetting when things happen with certain people or in certain instances is because it's my defense mechanism to fight or flight. Is because certain instances and certain situations, are worse than others and are more hurtful than others, and require me to put up a much stronger barricade around me, around my space, around my family, around my energy, around my sanity, because I have to protect us. I have to protect me from getting hurt again or from going through another vicious cycle yet again. And, I don't know if in life I'm doing wrong by that, by being more lenient on the forgiving these things, yet not so lenient on the forgetting. I don't know if that's a good thing, that I am learning how to identify when to forgive and forget. Yet, if it's a bad thing, that I'm still holding on to some of those instances where I just don't forget at all. And it's something that I'm trying to get better with. It's something that I'm trying to understand more about myself, about just life in general, about the different situations. Even looking at certain partners and certain friends that I feel have done me wrong. And not to say that I had no part in anything. I'm just saying that I feel there are instances where they have done me wrong that unfortunately required me to distance myself, remove myself from that space, completely cut people off, or just not speak to them at all. It's this concept that I shared last week's mini-sode about say less is more. That's essentially what that means to me, where I am choosing to not address certain things in real time, because sometimes my mouth could be a little bit brutal and it's not the best thing for me to do. So I do exactly what I just said I do. I remove myself. I no longer speak with the person. I no longer give that person my time and my energy. I no longer give you my attention. Why? Because at some point in some instance, you have not appreciated that. You have not valued me, or you said or did something to me that I caught, that I no longer necessarily feel the need to come forth and elaborate and embellish, right, to a situation. I don't need to I don't need to come forth and say more that needs to be said with what's already in front of us, with what the evidence already shows, with what the proof is right in front of us and is demonstrating, with what actions are speaking way louder than any words could. And so I think I'm at a space now where I'm just trying to find that balance of the forgiving and forgetting. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to lie to any of y'all. I'd be lying if I told y'all that, yes, someday my ability to forgive is going to hold hands with my ability to forget. They're going to skip down a garden or outside my block. No, I'd be lying. That's pure bullshit. I am nowhere near that space. I still do not see, to be very candid, transparent, and brutally honest and raw with this shit. I don't know how some people, and I commend you for the fifth time, I will say it, I commend you. I don't know how some people are able to entirely forget certain instances. You know, going back to what I said in the beginning, some of these situations come down to like the very last chance. And that last chance entails someone taking their last breaths or being at their deathbed, unfortunately. It's something that I've been exposed to throughout the years and I've seen. And I think, and I guess in those instances, I could see why people do choose to just forgive. I could see why some people choose and are able to forgive and also forget. And I'll be very honest with you guys, maybe someday I could get there. I don't think I've ever really truly been faced with that situation, but you know, if I am at some point, I hope that I'm able to do that at that instance. I do feel that when someone tries to make peace with just life, they're really trying. But I'd be lying to you if I tell you that, hell yeah, I could do it. I'd be lying to you. I say all of this to say because I think while we are still here breathing, while we are still here, you know, with certain ties, with certain bonds, with certain partnerships, with certain relationships, and finding ourselves in certain situations, environments, with us just being human and facing life, I do think that the concept of forgiving and forgetting and how we tackle that, how we cope with it, and the methods and practices we tend to use with that do need to be reflected upon. I think that impacts individual growth. It certainly impacted me. And I was hoping that it would resonate with some of you guys, especially if any one of you is dealing with that. And if you are, please get into my DMs. Let me know, like share with me, send me an email. I mean, I'm here for the stories too. I'm here to hear how you guys cope with things, how you guys have dealt with certain things that may have resonated with you. I'm here just as much as I feel like I'm sharing, you know, what's more transparent about me with you guys in hopes that you can learn from me. I'm also hopeful to learn from you guys. And on that note, and I'm probably going to share a little bit more with you guys at some point in time about that progress. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. You guys already know this is Misty on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.